All right, what is up, guys, and welcome back. My name is Dylan Haugen. I am a 5'11 dunker, content creator, podcaster, all these things, guys. And the reason I'm telling you this is not to just, flood you with random information about myself. It's just to kind of give you some context about what we're going to be talking about today and why it is important and how it can apply to you as well. So, the reason, or the topic today, guys, is why I started creating blog posts and posting them on my personal brand website with the help of Dennis Yu and the Blitzmetrics team. And basically, the first reason I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that we can kind of understand this a little bit better, walk you through it a bit. So, when you look up a dunker, so like I said, I'm a professional dunker. Well, not a professional, but I'm a dunker that is on the verge of being a professional. Um, so, let's just use another dunker who is really popular right now, probably the best dunker in the world, who is Donovan Hawkins. We look up Donovan Hawkins, we see, some videos here, some YouTube videos, see some questions, we see his Instagram. And now let's look at an example of someone who has a little bit of a better, search results, who is also in the same niche, Jordan Kilgannon. I spelled it wrong. Jordan Kilgannon. When Jordan's comes up, this is what you would think of as like a famous person's Google results. It's got this right here, which is his knowledge panel, which is an important term that I talk about quite often. But basically, it's just Google recognizing that this is an entity that, you know, is, I don't even know what the right word is. Like, it's recognizable, people care about it, and for that reason, Google recognizes it and shows it with these colored boxes. And Jordan's is really cool. Jordan's is fuller than mine because, it's got his age, it's got his height, it's got, this latest post thing, it's got this, which pulls from Wikipedia. It's got this people also search for. It's also got all these questions. So as you can see, like if you were to think of, a famous person and look them up, this is what you would expect, right? So then why is it that when you search me, my name, I've misspelled my name so many times during these videos. So why is it that when you search me, Dylan Haugen, I have a knowledge panel despite having less followers and being worse at dunking than someone like Donovan? It's simply because I claimed it and I'm working on, doing the things that Google rewards for this. So basically the reason I'm showing you this is so that we can go to here. We'll come back to Travis in a second and show you guys how this works. So the real quick way to demonstrate it is Donovan actually does have a knowledge panel, but it just simply hasn't been claimed. So it doesn't show up when you actually search it. But this tool right here called the Knowledge Graph Explorer is made by Dennis Yu and Blitzmetrics, and it basically just shows the entities on Google that aren't necessarily shown when you search it up. Like this is from Google's Knowledge Graph, I believe. Um, so as you can see, Donovan actually has this nice knowledge panel here, but it just simply hasn't been claimed. So now going back to here, you can see he has a confidence score of 677, which is really good. And if we look at mine, I have a confidence score of 145, which is decent, but it's not, anything crazy. And I'm gonna make a video on how to kind of claim your knowledge panel, um, simply pretty soon here. But if we go to see on Google, basically all you do is, hit these three dots, say claim this knowledge panel. But you have to do it correctly, so I don't advise doing it if you don't understand what you're doing. There's articles on blitzmetrics.com on how to do it that are super helpful. But anyways, then let's go to another dunker, Travis Reynolds, who is better than me at dunking. Not only is he better than me at dunking, but he also has more followers across platforms. So we look at this. The first one that comes up isn't even Travis Reynolds, it's Travis Lee. The second one that comes up has a confidence score of 24, which isn't good. And then all these are confidence score 24s, which is, I believe, the lowest. And the reason that there's so many of them, despite there only being a few like relevant Travis Reynolds, is because all of these are mixtures of Travis and then this other dude, like the Travis I know, Travis Dunks, and then this other guy, also named Travis Reynolds, who does like surfboarding and stuff. And so Google is confused, obviously, about these two, who is who, what is what. Um, and yeah, the reason that this is because, Travis hasn't really done too much outside of social media. The good and bad thing about Google is that it can only see the things that you publish on Google or on websites. Like I have a ton of content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all these social platforms, but generally all of that is kind of locked in there. Obviously, YouTube has transcripts, which I believe some AIs can access. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of the time, like I have to repurpose my transcripts into articles just for them to be seen. And so the reason this is a good thing though is because we can take advantage of this and start what we I call or what Dennis and What's Metrics team calls a personal brand website, which as you can see they've helped me build out, which looks super cool. And then if we go down here, well, let's just take a look at this website first. Super cool, looks professional. Looks professional to brands and all that. We go down, we can see some general information about me, ways to contact me. There's a cool video of one of my dunks here. And then right here, blog posts. This is a topic today, and I'm going to be explaining why this is so important and why I believe that all of you should be, taking initiative and doing this for yourself. So the main thing is that dunking is a very cool thing, right? Everyone wants to dunk, everyone loves it, but the profession of dunking itself, being a professional dunker, is not, it's loosely defined, and it's difficult to make money, or at least like a full-time living as a dunker. So, for example, in basketball, if you make the NBA, you're set, right? You're making millions of dollars a year, easily hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases, or not hundreds of millions, but depends on the person, I guess. So you're making millions of dollars, you're set for life, basically. In dunking, that's not the case. And if you are watching this video, I'm just going to guess that you are not a super professional athlete because if so, like you've got other things to be worrying about. You just got to make it to the league, right? But for the average person, you have to make money in other ways besides, through your sport. Sports that aren't, at the highest level typically are not enough to just pay for, life. So obviously when you're a dunker or anything else that's kind of niche like that, it doesn't even have to be a sports thing. It just be anything where you're trying to build your presence online. You probably know a few of the things you need to do, but one of them is connect with brands, work with brands, do paid partnerships, all this stuff. And when brands look you up, what would you rather have them see? Would you rather have them see, you know, no knowledge panel, just kind of like a few things mixed up with other people that have similar names to you? Or would you rather them see this full knowledge panel? Looks great. Got everything down here. This is all my stuff. Everything is related to me. Your choice. It's pretty easy. So the reason or the way that we can make that look better is with these blog posts and with link building and all this stuff. So we're just going to take a look at some of these blog posts and why they're helping. But basically, like I said, guys, the knowledge graph and just Google identifying entities in general is just based on, what they can tell is you, right? And so in Travis's situation, where there's a bunch of social media videos, all this stuff, but there's no like real like links between each other. Google has generally a hard time telling, what is what, who is who, whatever. So for me, on the other hand, where I've got, these blog posts now, which, are very recent, so I'm not going to act like I know 100% on this stuff. But the reason I'm making these videos is, to apply LDT, learn, do, teach. So I'm learning these things. I'm doing them and implementing them into my own systems. And then I'm trying to teach them just so I can help you guys. And also I can repurpose this video into a blog post and then help even more people get more information out there, build more links. So it's just really cool. But anyways, back to the video. This blog post right here is made about a podcast that I did on why I quit high school basketball to focus on dunking. So, as you can see, we've got some pictures here, which will also be on Google and stuff. But then this entire article is just a transcript that I took from the YouTube video or the podcast and then repurposed it into an article. And there's links everywhere. So, as you can see, these blue parts, like this is the Dunk Talk. So if you click that link, it goes to the YouTube channel. If you click this link, it goes to the specific podcast where we talked about this and so on. Like there's all these links everywhere. So I'm relating these things to each other and then, building them back to me, which boosts my confidence score, boosts my authority on Google. And then, yeah, it just helps a lot. And then I'm also helping other people as well, or I'm doing my best anyway. So this is Hunter. He's one of my very close dunking friends. And he's also the co-host on my podcast. So as you can see, I linked to Hunter here. He doesn't have a website, unfortunately, but this will help him a little bit. So this is just one example of like the podcast example. But this is another one I did. This was just talking about my real experience at a dunk session, and that's a really important thing is having these be real experiences. If you're just using AI to generate you, oh, hey AI, generate me a blog post or generate me an article about, a dunk session in Florida, like that's not helpful. That's not valuable to anything. Google isn't going to reward that. With their EEAT standards, definitely recommend, learning about that. I'll probably make a video on it eventually. I have a ton of I have a ton of videos to make about this stuff on this channel, especially. But as you can see, going down here, it's talking about the session, blah blah blah. It's got these pictures. Also, this is cool, the bio down here. Um, and then linking to the session. So this is the session on YouTube. And then I linked to all the dunkers as well. So all these are their Instagram links. Again, none of them have what's it called? Websites that I know of anyway, unfortunately. But that's another example. And then this one is also kind of a podcast type thing. This one right here is kind of a talking video slash podcast repurposed. This one is a takeaway video from, a video that Dennis made on systems and services, the difference. And this one is another real experience that I had in Vegas with Donovan Hawkins and a bunch of other dunkers. And this one was fun because I also got to highlight Donovan and some of, the things that he did and performed during this session. So, I mean, I'm kind of getting distracted here, but anyways, guys, the reason that I am showing you all of this is so that you can understand the purpose of what these are for. So this is not only helping me, it's also helping, the people that I'm doing these things with, that I'm dunking with, that I'm doing these podcasts with. And that is just kind of the goal of the Dunk Talk podcast in general, which I've talked about in the past, obviously, but to, connect these dunkers with each other, share their stories with the world. And yeah, so it's been a lot of fun working on these blog posts, guys. I hope you guys can kind of see the importance of this link building and how it influences Google's, you know, what they think about your authority, your confidence score, and all that. So that was the video, guys. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. If you got any questions, let me know. If you have anything that you would like me to expand on in further videos or just make entirely new videos, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do so. And again, just thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.